Okay, this is Hideous C. We're doing a replay analysis of Hens, who is a Silver 1 player. Sion top versus Cho'Gath. Okay, so potentially right off the bat, you can notice a few things here. You guys have crazy hard engage between your ult, Annie ult, Flash ult with Tibbers, Thresh hooks, and Vi, and Ashe actually. All of you have a way to from a ways off initiate a team fight. In a lot of ways to lock down this Yi. So that's the kind of thing you're going to want to be looking for. Now they have a fair amount of disengage as well, honestly. So it's not just going to be super lights out. Ahri can get away with her ult. Zyra with her ult and grasping roots. Ezreal's pretty slippery. So Cho'Gath is a pretty immobile target. Once his rupture is down, he doesn't have a way to stop you from diving on him. And Yi is fast, but that's all he is. Okay. So that was okay. I mean, there wasn't anything necessarily wrong with that. You ended up missing a CS, and you missed another one there. In a lane like this, you are, in general, not going to be looking to beat Cho'Gath in terms of like kills. You're not really looking to kill Cho'Gath. You can do this. You can get some good poke in, and just keep him on his toes so he can't just do whatever he wants. But in general, you are looking to win by out CSing. You're going to win by out CSing and by looking to outplay him with teleport. And when level 6 hits and teamfights start, you bring significantly more to the table with your kit. Or your kit is way more versatile, I guess I'll put it that way. Cho'Gath does have good tools, but your tools are useful in a lot more situations. Okay, so this is the kind of thing where once he knocks you up like that and hits his silence, you kind of just need to start backing off. Getting those CS right there was not worth losing all this health. You also need to be careful about using your area of effect abilities like that unless it's to actually get last hits, because you're kind of creating a situation where you're getting a lot of minions low, but then you're not able to actually go up and last hit them because Cho'Gath will be able to knock you up and silence you. So using it like that is okay because you got the one and you can walk up and kill the other, and you know ahead of time you'll probably be able to do that. But it's not wrong to use your abilities to CS, but you got to have a fair amount of confidence that you'll actually be able to get that last hit. Because if you hadn't hit them with your knock-up, then they probably would have survived all the way to right here, and you can farm them more safely that's that close to your turret. Bummer. That's frustrating. As Sion, though, you don't have a lot of tools. So right now, once that wave was dead, honestly, that probably would have been a good chance well, yeah, you do have a lot of sustain. So never mind. That's okay for you to stay in lane. I was going to say you could probably use that as an opportunity to sneak back to base and then teleport right back. You have 800 gold, which would be enough to pick up some magic resist maybe and boots. Or you wouldn't be able to get both, I guess, since that'd be 850. But yeah, right now he has a lot more consistent ability to harass you, and you gotta be with Cho'Gath. You gotta be working around his cooldowns. He is kind of an immovable object in lane. He has a lot of sustain. He naturally gets very tanky, and his abilities do a lot of damage and have a lot of utility. So the things that make Cho'Gath's weaknesses His mana costs are very high, his cooldowns are very long, and once his stuff is on cooldown, he's pretty much helpless. So if you can bait out his Rupture or wait for him to use it on CS, which he often will, then that's your opportunity to come in and try to get a trade back while one or both of those things is on cooldown. And you got to be real careful too about using your knockup because it locks you one place for so long. That's extremely easy for him to use his Rupture on. So, and Silence too. He can walk up and hit his combo extremely reliably. So that's a situation where throw your ward in the bush. Oh, that sucks. Okay, so I'm going to go back real quick and look at something here. Okay, so right here, he goes into the brush, and you know Vi is looking to hit him with her Q, with her dash. So you know he ducked into the brush to try to avoid it. So your immediate reaction... Oh, it's on cooldown. Okay, never mind. I was looking at Annie's. I thought Annie's was yours. Okay, never mind. Your war's on cooldown. I don't know why you used it here, though. I don't remember when you used it here. Or why. Yeah, this does not do anything for you. I don't think. I'd have to go back and look at what you were thinking at the time. But I don't think this is useful. You want to hang on to this. You want to use this to keep yourself from getting ganked. And in this situation, you could throw it down in this brush, and then Vi would have had a much better chance of actually hitting Cho'Gath. But you got to remember too, when Cho'Gath goes into the brush, and he's full health, so he's not just like, he's not necessarily looking to just book it and run. He's probably looking to try to turn. And you know he's level 6. I think you do anyway. Yeah. Let's see. Do you? This isn't some crazy thing where he goes into the bush and hits 6. No, he's 6 before he goes into the bush. You know he's level 6. So you know his burst combo is gigantic. So right here, he goes into the bush and you're walking toward him. This is kind of like walking into a ribbon. He's going in there and he'll be able to use his abilities and you won't be able to see them. And you're going to keep walking into the brush, so you're walking right toward him into his range for his ult. When he does this, you want to just, if you can't get vision in the bush, you want to just wait for Vi to go in. Because when Vi goes in, she's immediately going to have a knockup. Or you could try to start channeling your knockup right now and just hit the majority of the bush. And if you see him start to leave, like aim it like right here, so that if he does start to leave, you can just release it early for the slow. But the last thing you want to do is face check against this. For that reason, because he has a fairly high burst combo that you walked into, and you walked right into the range of it. Okay, teleport back to lane there was smart, because you would have lost a lot of CS if you hadn't. I think. I'm going to double check that real quick. Yeah, that was the right move. You never want to teleport to lane if you don't have to. If you're not going to lose CS, never teleport to lane, walk to lane. Because you want teleport up for when Dragon... Because the unfortunate part about this is that Dragon starts becoming contested usually around 10 to 11 minutes. And so if they go for it early at all, you're not going to be able to get down to that fight. Unless you just ult down the river or something, I guess. So again, for Cho'Gath, there's really nothing you can do to stop him from farming. So it's okay to let him do his thing, and to just you don't need to be doing this. It honestly, it uses up a lot of your mana, and he's just going to immediately sustain it right back. And so it's not really worth trading, because you traded a ton of your mana for effectively nothing, because he just immediately sustains it back. So focus on using your abilities to CS. Trading is going to be a losing game for you almost every single time, unless he just makes a colossal mistake. Especially now that he got a kill and is ahead. You need to shift your focus from winning lane and trying to get kills and trying to, you know, come out massive to just not losing lane. You don't want to give Cho'Gath any more advantage or kills than you absolutely have to. So you let him push because he pushes pretty naturally with all of his AoE, and you just farm right here. You farm right outside of turret range, just like you're doing right there. Last hit, so don't push, don't do this, don't do this. This is bad because then now you have to walk back out into lane to continue to CS. Let those minions just sit here. Pop your shield on so they don't push into the turret and you're not taking free damage. And just let it sit right here, because then Cho'Gath will have a harder time pushing him this far. Because he can't chase you. You can just back right off to your turret if he does go aggressive. He's out of position if Vi shows up. And so you want to try to freeze it here. If you have to, you can let him push to your turret and farm there. But you want to be looking for opportunities to freeze it, because if you push the lane, that's just going to end up being to his advantage. So I would just avoid using your abilities as much as possible unless you need them to CS, so that you have the mana when you want to teleport. Or if Vi shows up, you have the mana. Because right now Vi's going to come in and she's going to have 6. Cho'Gath misses her coming up even though he has a ward. So if you had mana at that point, you know, potentially you could have set that up a little bit better for Vi. Difficult to say completely, because he backed off in time, that she wasn't willing to hard commit. But now you have nothing to offer this. You're out of mana. You know, you walk down, but you might as well have just stayed here. So that's just kind of a thing where you got to examine your win conditions for a lane. Oh yikes, they even got a kill. That's brutal. You got to examine your win conditions for a lane. And for a lane like Cho'Gath, your win condition is not losing almost. It's out CSing. And if you are using your abilities constantly and you're trying to trade with him constantly, all you're going to do is drain your own mana pool, and he's going to be left just fine and dandy to do whatever he wants. And you'll be helpless when a gank comes, or if you have an opportunity to, you know, to teleport bot. Your teleport should be back up now, yeah. So, you know, this is something where you could look to teleport right here. Oh, so yeah, look at this, look at this. Ah, this is a missed opportunity. So you teleport top, and yeah, I mean, there is CS here to miss, or to get. But Ashe was here, Vi is bot side, Thresh was on turret. These guys were pushed and relatively low. You teleport right here, walk to here, and ult. And that's probably a double kill. That's at least 1 kill on Zyra. Ezreal might be able to slip away. But, you know, you gotta be looking for opportunities like that. Because yeah, as Sion and as a tanky top laner with a lot of utility like that, that's how you look to win games. Or look to win lane, you know, is by not really, you know, you're not even really dealing with lane. Cho'Gath is just there to bother you. He's not really your objective. Your objective is all over the map. So look at this. This is valuable. You still want to... No, you got this. Keep going. Keep going. Just don't ult until you're right here. Yeah, pretty close. Okay, and you're gonna be able to... Okay. So that was the right idea. If you hadn't hesitated here, you probably actually would have picked her up. Or she probably would have had a harder time getting out of your way. But that was the right idea overall. Okay, I'm going to speed it up a little bit here. So, yeah, I mean, I know I've said this a couple times now, but it's just another example. So that whole trade, you know, you knocked him up, you hit him with your slow, and you walked up and popped your shield on him. And you got, you know, you did about a quarter of his health, which is significant. But because of the way your kit works versus his, that cost you an immense amount of mana. And then as you're walking back, he is still able to walk up and do the same amount of damage to you. He walks up and does a quarter of your health. And at the end of it, he has a quarter of his health and chugging potions, and he has a lot of sustain built into his kit, so he'll be able to build that right back. You do not. You are forced to chug potions, and you're at a third mana, whereas he's at half mana. And again, we'll be sustaining his mana back along with his health. So you even if you have an opportunity to get some damage in, versus Cho'Gath, you're not going to be able to make it stick, and he's going to be able to trade it back on you harder most of the time. And it's going to cost you more than it costs him. And if you think of trading as, the idea of trading is you want to get in, do your damage, and get out. Ideally without taking any damage, but at very least without taking as much damage as you deal. So trading is just that, it's a trade. And if he just due to the nature of this matchup, he has a lot of the cards stacked in his favor. And so there has to be something kind of unusual happening for you to be able to get a trade in your favor. So your primary objective here, again, is not to kill Cho'Gath, not to chunk Cho'Gath down, but it's to conserve your mana, conserve your health, so that you can stay in lane, so that he can't force you out of lane or kill you, and you can stay in lane and CS and control the wave as much as possible until you have an opportunity to teleport. Nice. Aw, dang. That was almost a really solid outplay. Okay, worked out in the end anyway. Good. If you can get Vi on the same page, this would be an okay time for you to ult. He's almost out of mana. I mean, not right this second because he's pulling out, but as he's pushing the wave, you could ult, you could ping Vi, and potentially between the two of you, you could probably kill him. Especially since he was really low on mana there. So that was potentially an opportunity for a kill. Or a good use of your ult at the very least. Okay, so your turret's down. That gives you the freedom to start roaming a little bit more, because you don't have to be up there defending the turret. It's already gone. Cho'Gath, it's going to take Cho'Gath a little bit longer to get down to here. Okay, so I'm just going to talk for just a second about... it's just a mindset that you got to get out of. So right now, Cho'Gath has one lane. He's crushed you. I mean, it's you haven't. It's not even true to getting outplayed. You kind of got outplayed the one time when he killed you from the brush, but he's winning the lane just because his kit is better at sticking in lane and pushing the wave and farming. It's very good at that. And Sion's is not quite as natural at that. Sion is most naturally a lane bully, but Cho'Gath is not someone that you can easily bully, and so he has a 40 CS lead on you and a kill and an assist. So he's got 300 gold, 450 gold, and 40 gold is about, that's about 2 kills worth, give or take. So that's 1,000 gold lead on you. Let me see if my math is correct. Yeah, he's got a 1,400 gold lead on you, because do they have a turret? Oh yeah, he got the turret. So that added to it as well. So he has a significant gold lead on you, and none of it is in his pocket. So he's winning. He has an item advantage. He has a level advantage. As Cho'Gath, he has, his ult gives him a lot of extra health. He has an advantage in every sense of the word. And so, again, your objective, you have to stop and think, when you are losing lane like that, especially as someone who's not really a carry, like Sion's not really a carry, he's a tank, or a fighter maybe, or a bruiser maybe, but He's not a carry in the same sense of like a Quinn top or a Cannon top or something like that, or Riven. You got to be thinking, you know, what is really my win condition here? Because if Cho'Gath starts to win, there's no realistic scenario that you're gonna outplay him and get the lead back. He would have to just screw up colossally for you to get a kill, and so you want to and that's what you want to count on. You want to realize, okay, Cho'Gath is winning the lane, so I need to adjust my playstyle. I need to start playing conservatively. I'm not going to rock up to him and try to trade. I'm not going to go up and try to tangle with him because I know he'll win that every time because he's won consistently every time. His kit is better at doing that, and he has more sustain than I do. So no, there's no scenario in which tangling with him is a good idea. So I'm going to play conservative. I'm going to play back. I'm going to focus on last hitting and conserving my mana, so that when Cho'Gath messes up because he forgot to ward, or because he overextends, or because he blows his cooldowns at a bad time, I have the mana and the cooldowns, and I'm looking for that mistake that I can capitalize on it. I'm waiting. I'm pinging Vi. Come up. Cho'Gath is overextended. And because you saved your cooldowns and your mana, you are able to capitalize on that with Vi. In this situation, you stepped up to tangle with him for some reason. He's beat you every single time you've tangled with him, so there's no scenario in which this is a good idea. Even if he doesn't show up, it's not a good idea because he's going to beat you. And yeah, you could blow your ult and escape, but that's a really lame use of your ult. You don't want to do that. That sucks. You know, that doesn't feel good. And it's not good for your team, and so, you know, just don't do it. Just back off. Just give him the space. Give him the respect. He's earned the respect. Give it to him. If you try to go up and fight him because you're upset that you lost lane, or because you feel like if you could only just get a kill, you could be back in this game, you resist the temptation to do that. Learn to lose a lane gracefully. It happens sometimes. You mess up, you get ganked, you misplay and give up first blood, or you just are in a matchup that you're unlikely to win. Your goal needs to shift from winning the lane to losing as gracefully as possible. You want to lose the lane with giving Cho'Gath as few advantages coming out of lane phase as humanly possible. You want to deny him kills. You want to make sure that you are focusing on CS, so he's not coming out with a massive CS advantage. You're not shoving the lane so that he has to extend to farm, so that then potentially Vi can come up and capitalize. But the only way that you are going to get back and start winning the lane, you have to just pound it into your head, is not by one-on-oneing, not by forcing a play, not by trying to get a kill, but it's by waiting for Cho'Gath to make a mistake. You're waiting for him to screw up, and you're going to capitalize on it. Maybe he'll have to make 2 or 3 mistakes for someone like Cho'Gath, who's really tanky, for you to be able to capitalize on it. But you got to wait for that moment to capitalize on the screw up. Okay. Okay, Annie's getting big, so that's good for your team. And you built magic resist first, which was definitely a good idea. They've got Cho'Gath top, Ari mid, Ezreal bot, Zyra. I mean, 4 out of 5 of their people do at least some magic damage. So that was definitely a good call to go Spirit Visage. And then Merc Treads, yeah, that's another good call. So in a situation like this, whenever you are just walking back to lane, you want to be keeping an eye on other lanes. You want to be looking at this situation in bot. Because here again, this isn't the situation. You teleport in here, ult, or you don't have your ult, but you teleport in, and suddenly they can't chase Ashe down anymore because they see you're teleporting in right here. They can't afford to focus her down, and if they do, well, you're there, and you can jump in the mix, and you know, at least get assists. So, you know, especially as you're walking to lane, because there's no good reason, you don't need to watch yourself walk back to lane, especially when you're doing that. There's nothing else distracting you. So keep an eye on other lanes, look around at what's happening, and look to make a teleport play. So again, you're trying to tangle with him. This is never going to work out for you. Just back off, let him clear this wave. You lose nothing by letting him clear the wave. Your CS isn't going to die. So yeah, this is the right move. Go take Gromp. This is okay to take Gromp in situations like this. Wait for him to push the wave to you. He might push it all the way to your turret. That's okay. It's better than trying to tangle with him and giving up more than you gain. and potentially even getting killed. So in this type of situation, you know, you want to do what you can to shove the lane so that you have a few minutes to go do something else, or you have a few seconds to go do something else. If Cho'Gath is just going to sit top and AFK push, he has fast wave clear, but he's not going to actually chew that turret down very fast. So, you know, oh wow, nice. If he's just going to sit here and push, then you can feel free to go actually win League of Legends. You know, he's pushing the objective, and yeah, he's going to make some progress, but if he's just going to leave his team in a 4v5 situation all game long, then you can go capitalize on that tendency. You can go, you can teleport to a fight, you can go to another lane and shove it. Ideally, you want to push the lane, you know, as far as you can, and then go roam and do something. You know, go get a ward down. Go mid and push a wave. Go look to teleport and do something. You know, and then walk back as he's pushing up to this turret. So luckily your team is doing work. Annie's pretty big. Bot lane's pretty big. Vi is pretty big. And that's, again, you can just look at that and say, okay, I'm losing lane. And yeah, that sucks. And not ideal. But my team is doing amazing. So, again, that just affects the way that you look at what you need to do next. You do not need to win lane to win this game. You need to make sure... Nice, good bait. You need to make sure that Cho'Gath does not come out of this lane an unstoppable monster, because Annie's big, Ashe is big, Vi is big. They can win the game for you. You can let yourself get carried. But if by the time, you know, mid game starts and team fights are up, Cho'Gath is massive because you elected to play aggressively when you were behind. That makes getting carried pretty difficult because. Or more difficult. You know, you don't want to put Cho'Gath in a situation where he is big enough to actually overcome the people on your team who are doing very well. Okay, yeah, this is the right move. You push the wave out enough that it should start pushing on its own, and then you roam mid, or rotate mid. So between the four of you, you actually probably can do some significant damage to Cho'Gath. So be looking for an opportunity to ult in on him. Oh yeah, so you don't need to do this. You don't need to do this. Because this is pushing on its own. You've got 4, 5 minions here, 6 minions. So five casters versus 2 melees and a caster. Your reinforcement's going to arrive a lot sooner than his reinforcements. And so this wave will naturally slow push. It'll finish that wave off, get to here, and then it'll slow push this wave, and then it'll be here. And that's going to force somebody to come top. Somebody's going to be like, oh, there's a big wave top. I need to go do that before the turret gets pushed, or just because I want to farm it. And you coming up here, you don't have a turret, so you are overextended just by being here. And that kind of thing can happen. And so, you know, it's dangerous for you to go up and farm because you don't have anywhere to run to. And you can create a lot more pressure mid. You can just be mid and let the wave slow push. You know somebody is likely going to go up there and deal with it, and then you've got a 4v5. And your team is absolutely going to thrive on a 4v5. You have 4 amazing ways to start a team fight at the drop of a hat. Your ult, Ashe arrow, Annie stun, and Vi ult. like that. The second you guys nice. The second you guys see an opening, a 4v5, you see Yi go top to get that big wave that's slow pushing toward the turret. You know, you hit your ult, Ashe hits her ult, Vi hits her ult, Annie hits her ult. You know, 1, 2, 3, or 4 of you ult in, and you won the 4v5. You usually are able to just eliminate one person with all of that. And you've won the fight before Yi even has a chance to, like, realize it's happening. Okay, so this is another pretty classic lower elo mistake right now. So, right now, you guys, it's a 4v5. Ahri is dead. And Zyra's kind of low. So you guys have all the advantages. You're okay. You're pushing this inhibitor. That's good. Vi ults, gets a kill on Yi. That's also good. Okay. What's going to happen right now? What are you able to get right now by staying here, realistically? The answer is nothing. You're not going to be able to get anything. You do not have enough minions to push up and get even one inhibitor turret. Even if these guys were not here, you wouldn't be able to get an inhibitor turret right now. But Cho'Gath and Ezreal are right here. They have a lot of CC. They have a lot of damage. You guys are... you guys got the inhibitor. You've won. You've won. You've got what you came here for. So leave. Vi ult is down. Annie ult is down. Oh wait, no, sorry. Annie ult is not down. Oh no, yes it is. Tibbers is out. Sorry, yeah. Annie ult is down. Ashe ult is down. Your abilities are all down. And so you are not equipped for a team fight right now. There's nothing left to get here. You got the inhibitor. Leave. Leave before you throw that. Leave before you give them. Don't give them a chance to gain an advantage back. It's so tempting to keep going because you feel like you have the momentum and you're winning. But you got to remember that you're in their base. They have all the advantages here. So right now, yeah, I mean, you picked up another kill and you didn't lose anybody. That's great. But, I mean, what does it gain you? What does that kill gain you? It gains you nothing. You already had a numbers advantage. Yi was dead. You could have gone top. You could have gone top. You could have looked to rotate bot and get this guy. You know, you probably could have tanked it up for a while and then switched to Vi tanking it up for a while. You could have gotten this turret in that time you spent messing around in here. You picked up a kill, but you don't get anything for that kill. That kill then meant nothing. You got somebody a little bit of gold, and that's it. You weren't able to capitalize an objective or anything like that. So this is a situation where, in that same scenario, you get the inhibitor and you rotate out, you rotate bot, get this turret. Potentially, at least, you could shove the wave for the turret, or you could tank it and get the turret, and then you go get dragon. So you get the inhibitor and the turret and the dragon, instead of the inhibitor and the dragon. And again, the kill is meaningless there, pretty much, because kills are a means to an end. You only want... kills are they're not gaining you anything. By you know, in and of themselves, they gain you very little, a little bit of gold, which in the scheme of things is not that meaningful in and of itself. It's not completely useless, but kills are means to an end. They open up an opportunity for you to push objectives. Oh, nice. Yeah, perfect. See? Ah, big red button. I love it. And hate it when it's on the other team. Big red button. It's big red button because it's quick, it's immediate, it's instant. You're able to hit your ult, and you've got a team fight. And it's also big red button because it's very easy to read for the rest of your team. You hit your ult, everybody knows what's about to happen. It's very easy for everyone to understand what they need to do next. Same thing with Ashe ult. Same thing with Annie ult. But Ashe and Sion ults in particular, because they are so long range. You can hit them from a ways away and start things up without having to worry about a lot about your positioning or having flash up or anything. But it's very easy. Same thing with like a Mumu ult and Malphite ult. Those are great solo queue champions because, not just because they're strong champions, but because it is very easy to understand how to synergize well with those champions. You know, Sion ults, you follow him. Malphite ults, you go in. Amumu ults, you know what's about to happen, and it's very easy to synergize with that ult. So that was good. This is good. But again, you guys, but I mean, so that, okay, so that team fight in and of itself is good. You know, that's the kind of thing. You're looking for an Ash Arrow, and then you follow up, and you get a pick, and you guys get some kills. That's really good in and of itself. But you're kind of wasting an opportunity in the big picture. You guys have not set your lanes up very well, so you don't have lane pressure. Both the lanes are pushing your way. So the more time you spend here is more time that the minion waves are just building up here. And so, you know, you're setting up in a situation where, yeah, you won the team fight. Okay, you won the team fight, but you gain nothing from it. You get a little bit of kill gold. You've created a 5v3, but what can you do with it? You can do nothing with it because you don't have any minion pressure anywhere. When you guys are looking to set up this fight 5v5 in mid and get that good pick, somebody's got to go and you got to clear this wave first. You got to get it pushing toward this turret. Same thing with this one. Get this wave pushing toward the turret. Then group mid and look to find that big red button 5v5 or 4v5. And because you've got the lanes pushing, it's very likely to be a 4v5 because it's very likely that someone on their team is going to go to those lanes and farm those waves. You get a big wave pushing here, that's going to be almost irresistible for Ari or Ezreal to go down and try to take care of. And then, yeah, you've got a big red button 4v5 immediately. So you get the waves rolling their way, get it slow pushing ideally, then group mid. Or actually, in this scenario, you don't even want to group mid because there's nothing to get mid. You've already got the inhibitor. There's no objective here, so you gain nothing by winning a fight and pushing down this lane. You guys probably want to get bot slow pushing. Either one, actually. Let's see, when's Dragon coming up? Not for a bit yet, I guess. So Baron is up. This is a possible objective. So yeah, I guess I would suggest getting bot slow pushing. So you're going to kill like all but 2 of these minions, probably all but 1 of these minions at this point, and then let it slow push. Let your minions stack up and push this, and start to threaten this turret, start to pressure this turret. Someone on their team will say, I need to go clear that wave, whether they actually need to or not. They're going to say that. You guys are all going to be top. You're going to get this turret really easily. If it is Cho'Gath, he has teleport. So if it's smart, they'll send Cho'Gath to clear this, and then he can teleport in for a 5v5. That's okay. You guys have a fantastic team fight. Their team fight is just so-so. So if they do, but the second you see Cho'Gath, you guys can just go. You go. Boom. Start that team fight up. You can get this turret, you can look to take Baron if you win, or you can look to take another turret if you win. But the point is you've set this up, you've set the map up so that you can capitalize on the kills that you get on the team fights that you win. Because if you're just tunneling on fights and tunneling on kills, that's not going to win you the game. You're just delaying your victory, or potentially throwing your victory. Because you can get to a situation where, yeah, you could potentially win a fight here, but if you win it, you gain very little because you can't push anything. And if they get lucky and win it, or if they outplay you and win it, or if you make a mistake and they win it, then they can gain a lot because they could immediately go push this wave. They can just run and shove this and take this turret if they want to fight here. Same thing here. So, anyway, what you're doing right now is good. This is good. Annie's pushing this one. You're pushing this one. But you want to get prepped to be grouped right after this now. Annie is big enough she can probably split push pretty effectively because they need to send more than one person to kill her for the most part. This turret is pretty free if you play it right. Never mind, it's not because you don't have Ashe with you. You don't have any range, so they can defend it pretty effectively, actually. So again, I don't know why Ashe is going mid. What's she getting? What is there to get here? There's nothing to get here. Go top. Look at this turret. Go support Annie. She's pushing an objective. League of Legends is an objective-based game. This is not League of Fighting. It's not League of Kills. It's not League of Headhunting. It's League of Legends. You win League of Legends by killing the Nexus. By pushing objectives so you can kill the Nexus. Not by winning team fights, not by getting kills. Okay. You guys needed to wait for Ash to push this turret. That's basically what it is. You just didn't have any range, and they had a lot of lockup and damage. So that was just risky for you guys to try to walk right up to the turret and hit it. If you can communicate with Ash and get her coming your way, you can pretty easily take that turret. Because she can just stand back here and kill it in a couple of hits. And then you can fight, potentially. Okay, so right now you guys are pressuring mid. Ash is top. So the inhibitor is back up, so there is a point to being mid. So you guys can look to pressure this while Ash pushes the turret top. Cho'Gath has to respond, so he goes top to stop Ash from free pushing. And you guys can team fight. You can ult into this. Cho'Gath is not there. Go, 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 go. For the love of God. Just go. Okay, so... Okay, so the problem with that, and here's the advantage of a big red button team comp, and you kind of forfeited that advantage. So right now, you see Cho'Gath is top, Ash is top. If Cho'Gath has teleport, which it turns out he does not, so hopefully you have that timed, and you know he doesn't, then you know that he can't get to this fight anytime soon. So, you're looking at this situation. Your team is all right here. There's nothing else. There's nowhere else for them to go. You've got champions in front of you. You know, you can just go right here. They're right there. Worst case scenario, you have to exit your ult here because they managed to get away from you. You elect to wait, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and now you go. But by the time you go, you're not on. Your team isn't on the same page anymore. You've given up the big advantage of the big red button, which is that it's easy for everyone to stay on the same page because it's easy to follow a Sion ult because you know exactly what's going to happen. And so, but you waited long enough that you chose to ult here. But by that time, your team had noticed Yi or had noticed something else. I'm not sure how they saw Yi here. Maybe he stepped out of the bush. So they're going to check something else out over here. Okay, so Thresh was just warding. So they went to go do something, and he stepped out of the way, and now they're not on the same page. And so you get overextended. Yi is narfing on them, and they're able to exercise their superior mobility, or in team fight mobility on you guys, and just pick you apart one by one. So I think if you had ulted when the enemy team was here, they would have had far fewer options for dealing with you, and your team would have had a much easier time staying on the same page as to what needed to happen next. Bummer. She kind of made the same mistake you did early in the game. So they're going to get a lot off of that. That sucks. And you notice too, they won that fight, and not only did they win that fight, but they had minions here. They had minions here, or they pushed up the minions here, and they had a big, look at this gigantic wave that is slow pushed all the way up here. And that allows them to pick up this turret, and allows them to even pressure this turret as you guys are coming back up. Okay. Ash is going back. I'm assuming she wants to buy an item. Probably finish her Bloodthirster? Never mind. You've convinced her to stay. But again, you don't have the waves pushing. The map is not working in your favor right now. So maybe you get this objective, maybe you get this inhibitor, but you're making your job of winning the game hard. So right now you're pushing this inhibitor. That's good. You want to get the inhibitor. In and of itself, that's no problem with that. But it's a 5v5, and it's a 5v5 because there's nowhere else for the enemy team to be. They have literally no other things to be doing right now. There's no choice they have to make. They look at what's on the map, and it's obvious where they need to be. They need to be here. If you set the map up in your favor, and you've got a big wave slow pushing here, and you've got a wave slow pushing here, they have to make a choice. Am I going to stay here, or am I going to go farm the wave, this big gigantic wave that's here? Am I going to defend the inhibitor, or am I going to go stop top? If they elect to all stay, which is what they should do since this is the most important objective, then you can just stall. You can stall because you know that this big wave is going to be able to take out this turret. And so you can stall and you get a free turret. And then, as the wave is pushing, you can keep stalling, and then you can rotate. You can send Ash up to rotate top to pressure the turret, to pressure this turret. And so then, then they really got to make a decision. Okay, so now this turret's in danger. Are we going to just all 5 sit on the inhibitor still, or are we going to send 1 or 2 people up to defend this? Again, if they don't send anybody, you got another free turret. If they do send 1 or 2 people, then you've got a team fight you can probably win here, or at least you can bully your way up and start taking the inhibitor. So you don't even necessarily need to send somebody top if the wave is set up correctly, if you've got a big enough slow pushed wave. So again, this is fine to be pushing. You want to take this inhibitor, but before you start doing that job of looking for fights and looking to push, you want to set the map up so that it's working for you, not against you. Because again, if they win this fight, which it's a 5v5, and they're not so far behind that's ridiculous that they win this fight. They won the last one. So if they were to win this team fight, they can very safely go take Baron. They can pretty reliably just push down bot, or they can send 1 person bot to push this, or they can send 1 person top to push this while the other 4 push mid. They can go take Baron, and by the time they take Baron, this wave will be gigantic and be right about here, or maybe even on this turret, so they can go right from Baron to this turret and take it. So the map is working for them right now, and it's working against you, and you got to make sure that you are doing everything you can to make to have that be the opposite case. Okay, so this is a really confusing fight. Let me look at it. I'm going to slow it down. So Ashe goes in and CC's Ahri and kills Ahri, but then she immediately gets locked up. You go in. Your ult doesn't actually hit anybody. The whole time Yi is destroying your back line. So you and Vi are back here trying to deal with their damage. But their damage, you're not going to be able to kill their damage, because they're going to be able to just run away from you and kite, and Ezreal is slippery, and Syra has a lot of lockdown. You're certainly not going to be able to kill Cho'Gath, because you and Vi do not have enough damage between you to do that. The whole time, your damage, your carries, are getting absolutely obliterated by this Yi. Thresh is not going to be enough to stop Yi normally. He's either have to land a super clutch hook, or just have a miracle flay or something, but even that, he's probably still not going to be able to. He will be able to kill Ashe, then he'll be able to move to Annie, and unless Annie unless he makes a mistake, and or they misplay, or they pull out something miraculous, he's going to get a triple kill here. Does he? Kills Ashe. Here he goes. Thresh misses the hook. He alpha strikes Annie's stun, and then he triple kills Thresh. And by that time, he double kills, so somebody else killed whoever else that was. And now he's free to just destroy you guys, because not only is he doing a lot of damage, and you guys don't have a lot of damage, but he's got the backup of his entire team. So in that situation, it would have been better, once you guys eliminated Ahri, so Annie sees the opportunity in just a second here, and she flashes and kills Ahri. Now, it would be better for her to ideally maybe save that for a little bit more targets than just one guy. Ashe ults, and you and Vi go diving to the back line. It would be significantly better, because you know what Yi wants to do. You know he's going to look and try to kill these 3. Unless he's a moron, and he hasn't been a moron this game. He's played it okay. So this is where he is going to go, and you can predict that with 99% accuracy. So you do not want to dive their back line. Their back line is not, you're not going to have any follow-up. You're going to dive it and you're going to lock them up and get some good CC, and you're going to turn around, look over your shoulder, and your damage is dead. And then you're going to die, which is exactly what happens. You want to save your ult, and Vi wants to save her ult to lock this guy down. He's the big danger right now. Don't leave your damage behind, especially when you have somebody like Yi who can reliably jump on them and eliminate them. You make sure that once the Ahri is dead, it's already a 4v5. You don't need to rush this. If they dive on you, you guys stay together and nuke the people that overextend, that extend into the middle. You can nuke Yi, you can nuke Zyra. But instead, you and Vi spend most of your time trying to lock these guys down, and it's pointless because you're not going to have any follow-up, because even if Ashe and Annie and Thresh manage to kill Yi, by the time that happens, they're going to be super low and not able to deal with the damage anyway. You're not going to have any follow-up, so there's no point in you being here and doing this. You need to just absolutely focus Yi down and destroy him. It's already a 4v5. They're not, ignoring their damage. All their damage here is just Ezreal, and he's not enough to turn the tides on his own if you leave him alone. He's really behind. You can ignore him safely, completely. Zyra's ult is down, you could ignore her. Cho'Gath, you're not going to be able to, he's going to last for a while anyway. He's annoying and he does a fair amount of damage, but it's not like you can nuke him down so he's not out of the fight. You don't need to keep him out of the fight, you need to get Yi out of the fight. Protect your carries. Get that initial kill, and then turn and protect your carries. Turn and deal with the people that overextend into your team. And then your damage is all alive, and their primary source of damage is gone, and you can then turn as 4 or 5 or however many of you are left and win the team fight. So they're going to get probably the inhibitor off of that. And maybe Baron too. Okay, they don't go to Baron. You guys can go to Baron. This is a great time for you guys to go Baron, because they all recalled. So if you guys had rushed Baron right there, you probably could have picked it up. But you don't rush it, and so everybody just kind of sets up the battle lines for another team fight. Here he is again. He's looking for that flank. He'll do it again if you give him the opportunity. Okay, you're letting them push in. This is fine. As you go, you want to be throwing wards down. Yep, that's good. You want to be throwing those wards down on your flanks so you know if they're trying to get around you. I didn't see when you upgraded your trinket, so I'm going to assume that you upgraded it at level 9 and give you much praise for that decision. Okay, you see Yi. So when you see Yi off to the side like that, you can, you guys can look to rotate over and maybe try to catch him. That's probably not going to happen. He's pretty slippery. You can look to try to engage hard on their 4 maybe, and then turn immediately when Yi enters the fray. But it's probably honestly best, to just do exactly what you're doing, just to slowly give ground and wait for them to screw up, because they will. Like right now, this is a screw up. Yi is out of position. They're not in a position to help him. If you guys were able to capitalize on that, because you ideally have vision, so you can see that he is overextended. Okay, now they're making another mistake. Ahri is not here. She had to go deal with this wave that was slow pushing. This is an opportunity. You can go. You can ult. Ult Cho'Gath, and then look to stop Yi. There we go. Okay, there's the start. There's the start of the fight. Vi is mindful of Yi wanting to come in. That's good. You guys have an advantage here. Keep pushing it, keep pushing it, keep pushing it. Don't chase Yi. Okay, never mind. That was a good chase. I didn't expect her to be able to actually catch him, so that was good. Good call. Okay, so now you guys can really push. Now you guys have a truly difficult stop advantage. Good ult. That's exactly the kind of thing you need to do. Get the inhibitor. Got a kill. You don't have the minions to end the game. So again, ideally you would want to have minions set up in the bot lane and the top lane so that you can go push those turrets. This is almost never a good idea if anybody's alive, because 2 people can easily defend these turrets versus 5 if you're tanking them. So you want to immediately rotate top or rotate bot. Rotate bot, this would have been free. You guys could have taken the inhibitor and rotated. You could have tanked this easily and killed it. So that's a free objective. These turrets don't give you any gold anymore, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember exactly what they do give you, if it's a level of experience or what, but they don't give you anything. All they give you, obviously is unlock access to the Nexus, and since you aren't going to be able to get that anyway, it's not productive to push these. You can rotate bot and get this and get a lot of gold for your team. And then by that time, maybe top is pushed enough that you can just rotate right top and take this. I'm just going to throw out a prediction right now that this game ends with a Baron throw, or a Baron fight. I might be wrong, but I have a feeling. Okay, good, good. You see I'm caught out, you ulted. That's fine. It didn't quite work out completely, but that's still okay. It's the right idea. Since it didn't work out though, again, you gotta be thinking, okay, so we didn't get a good catch. There's nothing to get here. We're not going to be able to take these 5v5 with all of them up. So instead of pushing all the way into here, as soon as your ult didn't work out, as soon as the pick didn't work out, immediately rotate bot. Don't delay. Don't mess around in their base. Just go. Go take the objective. Don't give them more time to react. Don't give them more time to realize what's about to happen. Just tank it. Just tank it. If you try to clear the wave, they're going to get here to defend it. That's so low. Just tank it. Rats. Okay, you might still be able to win a fight under this turret here, so let's see. Yeah, that's it. Already screws up and overextends. Okay, and now Vi is on the case. She's locked down. You've locked him down. Good. That's perfect. That's exactly what you needed to do. That's exactly what you needed to be doing. Well done. Okay, focus the objective. Get the turret down. Push this inhibitor. You can actually probably look to end the game. Yeah. Yeah, that's the end. Okay, cool. Okay, so overall, in lane, you need to identify your win conditions. No matter what the matchup is, you got to identify your win conditions for this game. So, for this matchup, your win condition was not to fight Cho'Gath. You didn't ever want to fight Cho'Gath because he's always going to win those fights. He's always going to win those trades. Focus on your CS, save your cooldowns, save your mana for when you have an opportunity to participate in a gank or an opportunity to teleport elsewhere on the map and start a fight or turn a gank or something. So you could have come out of this lane phase a lot stronger. Cho'Gath probably will come out ahead of a lane phase. He comes out ahead in most matchups. So he probably comes out a little bit ahead, but you can minimize the amount that he comes out ahead by playing smarter, not harder. And then as the mid game goes, you want to be looking for opportunities to use your big red button to just dive on people, especially when you see there's a 4v5. And you can create those 4v5s pretty consistently by making sure the map is working in your favor. You're setting up slow pushes. Setting up slow pushes by killing 3 minions in their wave when it's right here and leaving your 6 to fight their 3, ignoring that CS. That delays this wave. They're gonna kill it. Your reinforcements catch up. Now you've got a wave of maybe 10 or 11 minions, and their wave of 6 finds you, and their 10, 11 take a few seconds to kill that wave. By that time, another wave of reinforcements is almost there. Now you've got a wave of 17 minions, or 8 or 16 minions, or whatever it is, and by the time you get to here, you've got a wave of 20, 24, pushing 30 minions. And that can easily take down a turret on its own, and they have to deal with that. They have to send 1 or 2 people to deal with a wave like that. If you can get a wave like that going in both lanes, oh man, now you've got a situation where potentially they have to just leave mid lane and ignore it, or they have to send 1 person and 1 person. It's a 5v3. So you want to make sure the map is working in your favor. Be setting up those slow pushes, and then look to group and team fight. Then look to group and push your objective. Make sure that you are setting up as scenarios as often as possible where you are forcing a choice. You are forcing your opponents to have to make a decision. Do we go and deal with this problem, or do we stay and deal with this problem? or three choices in a perfect scenario. They have to choose between three options. At low elo especially, teams are not good at making those kinds of decisions. They will often mess it up and drop the ball and make the wrong decision, and those are mistakes you can really easily capitalize on, especially with a champion like Sion and a team comp like this. And then, yeah, that one thing in team fights, that's just a general team fight thing, especially with an assassin or somebody like you who's a big carry. You did it well when you came around and fought this. You were clued into what was happening, what you needed to do. You initiated a fight, and then you immediately turned and CC'd to death. That was perfect, and then you win it, and then you win the game off of that. If you had done that here, you might have been able to actually win the game off of that fight that much sooner. So just keep that in mind. You do not want to just be diving their backline mindlessly. You want to be making sure that you are CCing priority targets, that you are taking somebody out of the fight. And if that sometimes does mean you diving into the backline and keeping one or two priority targets busy, if your team has the ability to deal with whoever they are dealing with back here, and then they can win a 4v4 maybe. So there are scenarios where that is the right call to dive, but you just need to be able to identify what it is. And it looks like you did that. You learned from the mistake here and fixed it here, and you won the game. Cool. All right. Overall, good game overall. You got a good victory. You allowed yourself to get carried overall, and you ended up being fairly effective. There's a number of things you can do to come out of lane phase stronger, and a number of things you can do to end games like this way sooner by getting the map to work in your favor and picking fights that are going to be meaningful in that you'll be able to get objectives off of them, and prioritizing appropriate targets in team fights, not just mindlessly diving their back line. Like you started to do, as you started to correct at the end of the game there. So cool. Thanks for the opportunity to look at this game and to give you an analysis. I hope it's helpful. I look forward to working with you again in the future.